Hey, what's going on with it, ladies and gentlemen, ponies and gentlecolts? This is the one, the only Criticism Guy 2009, aka Nintendofreak2011. Before I do get started, real quick, yeah, this video is brought to you by, Pokemon Plasma Freeze and Storm Trading Cards. If you want to trade with me, I got doubles, so we could discuss that. PM me, YouTube, Google, Yahoo, if you got it. And yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So before I do begin, also, there's going to be a lot of spoiler alerts for this movie review, so let's get it started. If you don't like that, you can get the hell out, but if not, hey, by all means, go for it. So Superman, Man of Steel remake. Let me tell you about this. Shout out to Brian3TR Topic, aka Brian Finney. Definitely check him out on his Twitter and Facebook. I always lock him in shout out subscriber, because he's a boss. He does them a lot better and more efficient than I do too. So if you think my channel's cool, definitely check him out. He's got like 450 subs. He's a boss. So yeah, shout out to him. Brian3TR Topic reviewer. So yeah, basically stars James Caville, I think, and starring Amy Adams, Lawrence Fishburne, Kevin Costner, and of course Russell Crowe. And basically the main villain in this movie is this guy named Zod. He's the one that kills his father, which is played by Russell Crowe. Very tremendous performance. I actually thought he was going to bomb this movie, but in actuality, he actually did a little bit better. I was really hoping Liam Neeson would have did it, but you know what? Russell Crowe really did really badass. He's a boss. He's been around since like that Beautiful Mind movie he did back in the mid-late 90s. He's still got talent. I'm not going to lie. He's way up there. He's a legend. Next to Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. He's a boss, He's a little older than him too, I think. 55 something, I don't know. So yeah, basically besides all that, very, very amazing performance. Basically it goes a lot into the past. I don't know why, it just keeps going to the past most of the time, where he came from, his origin, from his birth to his death. And there's this whole bunch of little cyber babies. And I knew that dude Jeremy Jahns, he said it was like a play off of the Matrix series, how everyone's born as a slave, and they're equipped to, like, they're born to what they're supposed to be doing, like as a worker, a CEO manager, a chef, game design, etc., 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 etc. Military warrior, you name it, they got it. Basically, it's a half-off price deal thing. And basically, his friend Zod or whatever, he discovers that Russell Crowe, they had natural birth for like Superman's mother and father, and the mother was all right. She wasn't that hot, unfortunately. I am into older women. I don't know why. I've always been that way. I don't know why. I am going to get to that age soon, but you know what? It's all good. So basically, which is like 6 years from now. So yeah, obviously other than that, yeah, they do all these things. He's riding on this avatar creature thing or whatever. It's really awesome as shit. The sound effects, the graphics is all good. And basically, what it comes down to is he's trying to save his son. He's trying to get him away from the planet Krypton, because it's about to implode and destroy itself and cause a huge ass massive explosion. They see their planet get destroyed. And then they get sent to this portal world or whatever. It's called the Frequency Terrineer. I don't know. I forgot what it was called. Some evil portal or whatever, the fifth dimension. That type of shit. Some Doctor Who kind of shit, Any of you guys don't know what Doctor Who is? Actually, I had a Doctor Who's with Derpy Who's. I'm a lot more down my Nintendo Freak channel, because I'm talking about My Little Pony a lot here. But I'm still Brony, Bro Who for all you guys. If you are, bro. Or Pegasus. Yeah, so basically, other than that, he gets... born and raised in Kansas City or whatever. It's kind of Midwest and shit like that. His life is pretty hard in the beginning. They show him going through all these fears and interactions. He's just scared out of his mind. He's getting the X-ray vision. He's getting the heat vision. He's like, holy shit, I can see things. He's tripping on some acid LSD, but in actuality, he's going through puberty because his body's starting to focus on all these super strengths, super weaknesses with kryptonite, which they didn't even show kryptonite at all. Spoiler alert there. And then he runs into this little, like, as a kid, as like Clark Kent or whatever, he just runs into this little like janitor closet because he's scared, and then like the teacher tries to get him, he uses his heat vision, and she's like, what the fuck was that? That was funny as hell, by the way. And after that, he goes into the future, he ends up being like a Coast Guard or something like that, a fisherman, and he uses his super strength to jump over. It's like that. It's just huge as fuck, obviously. Other than that, he saves all the workers at the oil rig before it explodes, and the Coast Guard saves it. This has a lot of military stuff in it too, kind of like New World Order Illuminati shit, but you know what? I didn't give a fuck about that part, because I'm just there to enjoy the movie and shit, I'll get into that in my AM alternate media news later. But other than that, they show him again as a grown-up, then they show him as a teenager. They're taking the bus one day, and there's a one dude or whatever. It's kind of little piece of shit fat fuck guy. He's like, what are you doing here, you fucking dickhead, little wash up? Get the fuck off my seat, And then one of the girls is defending, don't pick on him, Kenny. he's a good boy, you know, and all that shit. And then when they get into this accident or whatever, they jump off this bridge or whatever. The school bus is all riding all crazy and everything. He's like, he's drunk and disordered, the school bus driver, and then like he gets on head unconscious or whatever like that. And then after that, what happens is that what's it called? Everyone almost drowns, and then Superman, aka Clark Kent, you know, or Callum, as they consciously, like, continuously call him. His mom and dad call him Callum. Sounds like Cali a little bit, like California. You know, he pushes the bus off, and then the son sees what he did. It's like, my son saw what Clark did, you know. He's a freak, he's an outcast. You know that was going to happen eventually, but you know what? He didn't care, because he wanted to do what was best for his son, to live a normal human life instead of a superhero life, you know? And that makes sense in a slightest, to a certain extent, I guess it does. But other than that, you know, they show him grow up a little bit, and then he goes to Metropolis and shit like that, and then he ends up having an alter ego named Joe. I don't know. And then there's this one part in the scene when he gets his bartending job, and this one dude kind of acts like a little fucking bitch to him. Would have been me. I would have smacked the living fucking shit out of him, because I would have slapped the fucking bejesus out of him. Let's just put it at that, you know? And then what happens is, hey, you forgot your tit, you asshole, whatever, and like, he does that thing to him, and like, he pours all this beer all over Clark Kent's face, and then he throws this little cup at him. If he could have just killed him right there, just heat rayed him, you know, X-ray vision him, you know, super punch, boom, he's fucking dead. But you know what? He was a nice guy. So other than that, what he did to get his revenge, he put his 18-wheeler like big rig or whatever into 3 of these electrical poles and just smashed the living crap out of it. I thought that was awesome as fuck. Like, hell yeah, you fucking go get him, Superman. That's what's up. And then after a while, a couple years later, when he gets older, they show him with Amy Adams. Well, she was looking decent. She didn't look that hot, but I wish she had bigger tits. Because she was alright in Enchanted, but she wasn't that hot in this one. And then there was another one she was in. She kind of looks like that girl, not Lawrence Fishburne, dude. Asla Fishburne or something like that, but older instead of younger. And she has the red hair and shit. She's cute. Some white girls are just hot, right? Other than that, you know, basically what happens is that, you know, Mr. Clark Kent right here, aka Superman, he ends up just being a boss, and, you know, what's it called? He saves Amy Adams' life. He discovers this ship that was from Zods, like 20,000-year-old ice. It's not from this planet. And the NSA, CIA, and DEA, they're getting all involved with this, the president of the White House and the Pentagon and shit. They don't want this to go to the public, but Amy Adams, she refuses to, like, you know, respond to their, you know, actions and shit, so she just goes out of order, and she just hauls ass and takes as much news information as he can, truth information, too. And, yeah, the Air Force guy's kind of a dick, but he's pretty funny as shit at the same time, you know? And after that, they show Russell Crowe. This is like a figment of his imagination, but it's his consciousness that's with the ship. So he can go wherever he wants in this Superman thing, whatever, this keyhole that they put in there. I don't know. It's like some magnetism thing going on, you know? Scientology shit. And the whole ship moves, it goes up, and it goes out in the middle of space, and it's just epic fucking proportions. That's all I gotta say about that. Then they finally show Lawrence Fishburne. Amy Adams is talking. It's like, oh, I gotta send this out to the people. There's aliens and life on our planet. Are we alone in the universe? She's just hyped up and excited for this shit. And the same dude that was in The Dark Knight Rises, the one that was the CIA agent, he's in this one, but he's like one of the Air Force CEO general managers that are there. And then after that, what happens is that they get into this little argument fight between Superman and shit. Like, I'm not the enemy, I'm your friend, you know. And after that, what happens is Zod finally arrives, and like he takes over his electrical and magnetic pulse. EMP attack happens, and like the only thing that's working is all the computers and electronics and shit. This dude named Zod, he takes control. It's like, we are not alone in the universe. And it's my name is Zod, and it's like, for quite some time now, you guys have been keeping this one individual footage. You know, his name is Callum. You guys might know him as a different name. And then after that, what happens is you have 24 hours to bring him to us, because if not, the planet Earth will suffer dire consequences. So you know he's going to destroy the Earth regardless if they find him or not. And they were saying it in every language. They're saying it's France, Portuguese, Spanish, fucking Asian shit, like Japanese, Chinese, Korean. Every language in the world you can think of, they were talking. It's crazy as fuck to think about. And then after that, what happens is that Superman, he wants to surrender to himself. And then he finally gets all these suits. Instead of finding all superpowers like the 2006, 2007 version of Superman in Kansas, instead of training there, he trains into the Antarctica Ocean or something like that, or in Alaska somewhere, you know? Where's a lot of snow. And he gets all these powers, and he's flying. He's like, woo, I'm fucking Superman, bitch, you know? And he gets all this power. It's kind of like some Super Saiyan shit, because like all the rocks rise up into the air and then they fall down. You know, he got the power to control gravity. How epic as fuck is that, you know? And after that, he goes around the world like he did in the old school one. And then what happens is that, what's it called? Zod and his little army. One of them kind of looks like Katy Perry a little bit, or Olivia Wilde. I don't know why, she kind of does. Sexy as fuck. I would love to fuck that pussy, that's for sure. It's a gorgeous angel out of heaven, even though she's an alien. She's still hot as hell, even if she is a bad girl. Other than that, you know, I love the character development with that chick too. But other than that, what happens is that they fight all over these places like Sears, 7-Eleven, IHOP. One of the bullies that was Clark Kent's Superman guy, one turned into a Catholic priest, and then another one turned into a manager for IHOP. And that's kind of awkward because, you know, they were getting billions of dollars off of that movie in real life. All their advertising and revenues, it made them a billion times more richer. So I'm probably going to go to IHOP anyways. Not for the movie though, because I've been going there even before the movie. But other than that, you know, basically, and then like they get into these big giant fights, and she kind of has the same powers as Superman, except she's teleporting all over the place, like Twilight Sparkle and that dude Nightcrawler from X-Men does, and a whole bunch of other teleporters out there, like in the Jumper series. She's kind of doing that, but then she has the super strength and heat vision and shit, and it's all affecting her. She's getting like, oh, I got a headache, I'm gonna explode my head and shit like that. And there's another dude that's like an evil space version of an Incredible Hulk, except he's not the good guy, he's the bad guy. And what happens is Zod tells those two to take care of him, and they're throwing all these trains, these buses, everything you can imagine that's more than 2 tons, that weighs more than that, a billion times heavier than me, by the way. They're just throwing and smashing the shit out of it. And he's the only one that can use heat vision. He has these veins popping out of his fucking eyes like Cyclops, if you can believe that. But that was for Marvel instead of DC, so that's different. But other than that, I forgot what his name was, Zach Gilliger or something like that. Zack Snyder, yeah, definitely tremendous performance, especially Christopher Nolan and Nolan Brothers. They did boss as fuck making this movie. I give them credit where credit is due. This is fucking A- for sure. It's the only thing I didn't like about it, they didn't bring Lois Lane's bitchy attitude in there. And they didn't get more into depth with his mom, you know, Clark Kent's mom. That kind of sucked. And I wish they would have like talked a little bit more like, what's it called, when he turns into the regular Clark Kent for the Daily Bugle, you know, or Daily Planet. That's at the end of the movie. But other than that, what happens is they put this giant ass anti-gravity machine and shit like that, and they put it in Metropolis. It was kind of like a spin-off of New York City and Chicago and LA. Those big giant huge ass tremendous cities like that, there's a population just huge as fuck. And there's this one really traumatizing scene where Morgan Freeman, Lawrence Fishburne, he tried to save one of his assistants or whatever, associates. And the other guy's like, oh, push, pull, and there she's under this concrete, it's crazy as fuck. But besides all that sadness and everything, you know, let's go all the way to the end, because I don't want to talk about every single little thing that happens. And what happens is at the end of the movie, Zod and Superman finally get into their fight. They're just jumping all over the place. Zod still has his, like, he's still having an effect in this with his armor and everything and the planet Earth. And then there's these two big giant, like, beams of electricity from these 2 alien spaceships. One's all the way in the Indian Ocean where the gas cars at. And the other one's in Metropolis. They're making gravity go on and off. They're like, zip, boom, it's huge as fuck. You guys got to see this movie if you haven't seen it already. It's a billion times better than The Purge, I'll tell you that right now. Even though I haven't seen it, but if I do see that shit's going to be for Blu-ray DVD. Yeah, the last 2 things I want to talk about, Zod, you know, he fights this epic, you know, fight with Superman. It's literally like the fucking Holocaust, World War II. There's, you know, Hiroshima, nuclear blast, atomic blast, bombing, literally. It's like the city is in ruins, literally. And, yeah, the girl crashes the thing into the plane or whatever, and the alien shit, that blows up and shit. And what happens after that is, what's it called? Zod is Superman to get in their fight. I keep saying that. And then after that, all his armor comes off, and he gets all the superpowers, the heat vision, the flight. He can jump off buildings. You know, he has super strength, super speed, super flight, like I just said. And at the end, like, sadly, Superman didn't want to kill, like, Zod because it was the last of his kind. He's like, he says this epic line, says, you care for the human earthlings more than you do about your kryptonian brothers and sisters and people? Are you kidding me? And then he's using his heat vision. He's going to kill this Latino family, which is kind of fucked up. But at the same time, he gave us more credit for my race. Awesome as fuck. Thumbs up for that. He was about to kill him, destroy him, but you know what? Superman snaps his neck and happened. Boom! Just killed the fuck out of him. I'm glad he was not racist either. But other than that, you know, basically a boss-ass fucking movie. I highly suggest you go check it out. And then he becomes Clark Kent, the newspaper boy. He's like the geeky, nerdy dude, like, hey, I'm Clark Kent. Nice to meet you, buddy. You know, basically the little virgin fucking pussy wolf coward. But at the end, that's his disguise. That's his front. The real one is like the real identity is Superman. Clark Kent is really Callum. So he's a hardcore badass. He gets all the bitches. He gets the cars, the money, and all that. You know, he's a badass. Hopefully they show Brainiac or Lex Luthor next time, because they actually showed a truck that said LexCorp. So that tells you they might be doing a sequel, hopefully, pretty soon. Because they didn't show nothing at the end, unfortunately. It's one of the managers that works at the movies where I'm like, what's it called? Where I go to most of the time. So, oh, you like the movie? I said, oh yeah, it was awesome. The dramatic scenes were there. The CGI was there. Explosions were there. Had everything I wanted. You know. But other than that, that's all I gotta say. Hopefully, like this, full of spoilers movie review, like I always do, and like I always say, comment, like, subscribe, all that good shit. And here's what it is. And when I see you guys, have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're at around the planet. Peace out. Take care. Don't drink and smoke weed, and don't do anything reckless. All right. Talk to you soon. See you later. Peace out. I'm gone. Be safe. And like always, people, goodbye and good night. Or good day, wherever you're at in the world, alright? I haven't used this Puerto Rican hat in a while, by the way. So, happy early 4th of July, too, if I don't do videos then, alright? Take it easy, goodbye, and see you next time.